Welcome, my friends. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Esteban, and this is the Esteban Hours Week in Review, where reality TV and politics go hand in hand and are ripped apart by our opinionated talk. So, how's your day? How's your day going? Well, if you've woken up today, then today is a great day. All righty. So, let's get started. What is on the menu of hot topics today? Well, we've got a California judge who has been arrested for the murder of his wife. We're going to get into the ins and outs of what has happened in that case. We also have Jemmy Raskin, who he's been talking a lot about doing some things that many have been asking Democrats to do for several years now, and he's finally bringing it to the forefront. We'll find out exactly what that is. Then we're going to talk about two people. I sort of say two idiots who decided to find some joy in sitting on the third rail of train tracks. I wonder what happened to them. Yeesh. Then on the docket of hot topics today, we have an apartment manager who happens to be white. She's being sued by the parents of a black child who was assaulted, and we'll find out exactly how was this child assaulted. Moving on, we're going to give some Trump updates, particularly to the GOP's reaction to his fourth indictment this week. And also, we're going to look at some polls that show whether people are for it or against it. You can go figure as to which is which, right? All right. Then coming up, we will be talking about the illegal raid that was done in Kansas. There was a raid on a local newspaper, and we're gonna talk about that. A lot to talk about with that one. Then what about the writers' strike? The writers and the actors' strike. It's been going on for a while, right? Well, we're going to give you a little update on what's going on there, because we are all hoping and waiting for that to be over, right? Because it affects all of us. Can't watch any television, no TV, nothing. How many times are you going to watch reruns? I don't know. And then lastly, back into the news, we'll be talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'll leave it at that. Okay. So before we go on any further, let's bring in our co-host, author and activist, Jeremy Baker. Hey, Jeremy.
That was a good introduction for MTG. Just it is. Hey, that's okay. I love talking about her, so that's fine.
I know you do, but I figured, the least amount of words, the better for us all.
That's right.
How was your weekend?
Good. Got some work done, mowed the grass, played with the dogs. The usual. And the uneventful life of a small city in Pennsylvania.
Nice. All righty. Well, today we have first time appearing on the Esteban Hours Week in Review is Mr. Donnie Lewis from Austin, Texas. Hey, Donnie.
Hey, that's actually Houston, Texas. You're going to get me.
What did I say?
You said Austin. You're going to get me in trouble.
Yeah, don't mess it up.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up.
My bad. From Houston.
It's
Houston.
Texas. It don't matter.
Houston, Texas. My man, Donnie Lewis. He's also the host of the My Worthless 2 Cents podcast that I believe airs on Wednesday evenings.
That's correct. That is correct. Right. Absolutely.
All righty. How was your weekend?
It's still going. I have not left the house today. I've got my executive producer with me, so she's actually sleeping right now. So guess what? It's good right now.
All righty. That's what I want to hear. All right. Let's get into it. So First, we have this California judge by the name of Jeffrey Ferguson, right? He's been charged with murdering his wife, and he's from Southern California. He fatally shot his wife. This is an Orange County Superior Court judge. He's 72 years old. I mean, to wait that long to put yourself behind bars for a judge at that, right?
Yeah, this is crazy.
He's accused of killing his wife, Cheryl Ferguson, 65 years old, at their Anahim Hills home in California. This occurred on August 3rd, and this was after an argument at a nearby restaurant. Prosecutors claim in court documents that Ferguson had threatened his wife during dinner by pointing a finger at her in a manner of mimicking a firearm. When the couple returned home, and this is all alleged by the prosecutors, the wife dared him to shoot her by saying to him, "Why don't you point a real gun at me?" And he did.
He said, "Okay."
From his ankle holster and said, "Pow!" I mean, it's not funny.
That's crazy.
It's not funny. This is real. This is real. But okay, so my first question would be is for a judge, who does this?
Yeah, really.
Take that,
this is not something you hear every day. I think the part that I don't know why it's not funny. I mean, well, you know what? Yes, it is. The guy texted his job like he was calling off for work the next day. Mm-hmm. Hey, not going to be in tomorrow. Shot my wife. Sorry. Like who does that? You just murdered your wife. And your first thought, maybe have 911, and then let me call the office and let them know I'm not going to be a judge anymore. Who receives that text and goes, "What? What did it just say?" Whatever, but it's insane. It's not nice though. I mean, obviously, it's bad that somebody died as a result of an argument. And 72 years old, out of the way, you throw your life away.
They said that this first started at a dinner where he I guess in a plain or joking manner, put a finger to her and said, I should kill you, or I'm going to kill you. You got to know that something really, really, extreme must have been going on between them, because I know we're joking about it and we're saying that who does this, but no one is going to resort to this matter without something really, really mentally bothering them. And we don't know what it was. I'm sure it will come out in court documents as the time goes on. But it tells us that the police department, they arrested this judge after his adult son called 911 to tell them that his mother has been shot. I mean, could you even try to comprehend how it feels to come home and see that your own mother, her lifeless body on the floor? I mean, could you, Donnie?
Now, and as I think about this, it's the fact that mental health is a real thing. Mental health is something real. This isn't
oh my God.
This isn't something that just happened. It didn't just, this guy just didn't pop off the edge that day. There had to be some signs of something. The sad part about that is that nobody said anything. Nobody said anything prior. Secondly, I'm disappointed at the fact that how can you do it and still, I'm going to send you home. You can make bail and go. Where is the accountability for this? I don't think that there is any. That's just my opinion.
Right. I agree with that. Where's the accountability? But he's been arrested, so we're going to see where that accountability lies for a judge, right? Because we are going through times where a lot of people in high positions and in leadership roles they're not really going through the accountability phase much these days, are they? If you're not black or if you're not poor, you seem to almost get a pass these days. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen in that case. But this is a sad case, because whether or not there's accountability, you still have a person dead, right? You still have a person 65 years old who will not be coming back, and a son that has to undergo that trauma for the rest of his life.
Right.
And that's the sad thing. We're all parents here. We all have parents, and so we would be devastated if that was to happen to our parents, and we would be devastated if our children had to go through something like that happening to us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, sorry about the layouts, by the way. This guy, I mean, he had plenty of guns in his house. I guess he's out on bail at the moment, and he apparently there's a rifle missing as well from all the guns they found. They found, I think, 47 weapons, rifles, shotguns, handguns, and more than 26,000 rounds of ammunition.
There's your sign.
He was a legal gun owner. There's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that they can't find a certain rifle and he's out on the loose, posted $1 million bond, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, could he harm himself? Could he harm somebody else? Did he get special treatment? I mean, wait, how could he be out on bail? That doesn't even make any sense.
He's a judge. Again, we just finished talking about it.
I just realized that it doesn't even make any sense. The guy just murdered his wife. He texted people, said he murdered his wife, and this asshole's out on bail? Get out of here. Come on. That doesn't make any sense.
He's not black and he's not poor.
White privilege swoops in to save the day again. Oh my God.
Yeah. These are some of the guns that they were bringing out of his home.
Yeah, that bag is full of guns, handguns, ammunition, all kinds of stuff. I mean, so
all right. Well,
apparently he just got too stressed out and couldn't take it.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, if we were all allowed to do that, we would all be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not okay to get stressed out and take it on your wife or your husband or your children or your next door neighbor or anybody else. Oh, and for the MAGA supporters or a judge or a grand jury, it's not okay to take out your grievances on other people that you don't agree with or you don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Correct.
Moving on. Hot topic number 2. Democrats are fighting back. So what are they fighting back with? We have this gentleman here, Congressman Representative Jamie Raskin, who has recently put his foot on the gas in trying to get Congress, or in this case, I think the Senate, right, to place an investigation on both Jared Kushner for his dealings of getting a $2 billion deal from the Saudis 2 months after leaving the White House, and also, I believe, a deal or some arrangement that conspired while he was working in the White House. And in addition to that, his wife, the daughter of Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, she as well. Mr. Raskin has suggested that an investigation be put on her as to how and why she was able to get these patents, I think, permits, whatever, so easily from China, especially immediately during or after a dinner that was held at Mar-a-Lago with them all. Go ahead,
Let me play the video real quick, and then I want to get Donnie's reaction to it.
Let's do it.
I love Jamie Raskin, by the way. This
son-in-law, Jared Kushner, pocketed a cool $2 billion
from Saudi Arabia.
And in a corporation he created
the Saudi portfolio in the White House. But what about Hunter?
So I am concerned about it, and I'm concerned not just about public officials like Donald Trump and Jared Kushner who do it, but even family members who water ski along for the ride. And I have been, begging my colleague, Chairman Comer, for us to do a serious analysis of what the law should be about money making.
And you would take part in a serious investigation?
Yes, of course we would. And we're going to release a report about all of the foreign government emoluments, millions of dollars we can document that Donald Trump pocketed at the hotels, at the golf courses through business deals when he was president, and that his family got. But they've not laid a glove on Joe Biden as president. They haven't been able to show any criminal corruption.
And just before Danny gets to his opinion, if anyone doesn't know why Representative Raskin is wearing a bandana on his head, is because he recently went through a bout of cancer, and he underwent, I believe, chemotherapy, and that's why he's wearing that do-rag or if you will, on his head. This is the real Jamie Raskin, Congressman Jamie Raskin. Okay, so let's have it, Donnie.
Country boys clear slang. I think they all crooks. Personally, that's just me. I think they all crooks. I think each and every one of them. It just comes up to the fact of who gets caught first is how I feel, and then we're gonna throw everybody else under the bus. I don't think not a single one of them have not had somebody in their family, in their friends across the border, or their friends down the river, or somebody next door that they have not helped out. Now, somebody, it's that old thing. Somebody just got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Now everybody want to act like they don't know nothing, and I want to be honest when everybody got cookie crumbs on their hands.
That's true. That's true. But to be honest, in my opinion, I believe that Democrats were willing to leave the Jared Ivanka thing to the side years ago, because everyone was just happy that they were gone and out of the White House. And if we could, as best as possible, never bring them up ever again, then that's what we would do. However, since then, the Republicans have been trying to make a fiasco out of a person who's never held a government position or an office, a seat in office, let alone an office in the White House under the tenure of his father. And that person is Hunter Biden. And because of that, the Republicans have been doing their darndest to try to find something to pinpoint to find wrong with President Biden, because there was so much nonsense going on with Trump. They needed to try to find something to equal it out, and they're having a hard time. So their next best scenario is trying to go after his son, which, by the way, I do remember in the beginning of Trump's tenure, many of the Republicans said, leave the children alone, don't go after the children. But we all know that, what's right for the goose is never right for the gander when it comes to that. But because of that, that is why Democrats are screaming to open investigation on these two. Not only because of what the GOP is doing to Hunter Biden, but also if you really think about it and look into it, you ask the same questions. What does Jared Kushner know about $2 billion? What? Not what does he know, but what qualifications, there you go, does he have to manage a $2 billion financial portfolio?
None. He has no experience in financial management or wealth management
whatsoever. And
it's actually higher than that. It's not even $2 billion. It's actually over $3 billion total. You received $2 billion at once from the Saudis, but then another $100 million here, a few $100 million there, patents, this, that, and the other. They treated the damn White House like it was a piggy bank. And let me just say, I'm going to go full screen for this one. If Biden had done something wrong, they would have found it by now. They have been looking up his
That's right.
ass with a microscope.
That's right.
They investigated Hunter Biden for 5 years and found jack shit. I mean,
Right.
seriously, stop wasting our money on stupid investigations, please.
But
That's-
listen, Jeremy, that this is nothing new. This is nothing new. This is the same thing that they did to Hillary Clinton during the Benghazi investigations. They must have held like 100 different Congress meetings just to try to pin something on her. And that's all they had, right? They really didn't have nothing else. And so they're trying to do the same thing in regards to it. The only difference is that Hillary Clinton was running herself and Hunter Biden is not running, never ran, and has no plans to be a government official. So you ask yourself, what the hell? Why are we seeing Hunter Biden's genitals? Why? Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene
I did not need to
shut Pornhub down. Why? Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene go after the pedophiles. Why are we looking at Hunter Biden's genitals?
I said she needs to get laid.
I agree with that. I the one thing that I will say is, this old country boy just thinks it's just a waste of the whole aspect of it, because I don't feel like any of it's really going to go anywhere. I think it is a waste of taxpayers' money across the board. That is just me. We put in, and here we have all of this stuff that comes, and I just think it just wastes our money. For me personally, it wastes money and wastes time, because what is going to truly happen in the end? I guess we'll have to wait to the end to see. But in the meantime, we're just draining the piggy bank
over and over again.
And they have the nerve to ask for a pay raise. Sons of
Yeah, they need more money to hold up more of Hunter Biden's genital pictures.
Yes,
that's what they need more money for, right?
they should do a report on how much taxpayer money's been wasted since these idiots got put in office. That should be a report they pay the American.
I agree, and since you just said that, Jeremy, there's been a thought that I've had for so long that there should be a law passed in Congress that says there will be some type of consequence or financial payback for any Congress or Senate person that engages in a useless investigation that comes up with nothing. So if you bring an investigation to the floor, you better come correct and have your card all in the deck, because if it comes out that nothing was wrong or you can't find any information, there will be consequences for them. That's what should happen to try to help alleviate some of these worthless and useless investigations, because they're pointless. They're for political purposes only. Now, you'll get a Republican to say, no, that's not true. Look what the Democrats are doing. And, we're trying to find the truth. Like you said, Jeremy, if you've already been investigating somebody for 5 years, why are we still holding investigations in 2023? Because you took over as majority of the House. It's ridiculous. And as Donnie said, it is certainly a waste of taxpayers' money. And what makes me vomit is constantly when you hear these quote unquote fiscal conservatives, we know that's fake, always ramble on about saving taxpayer dollars. So you don't want to pay for grandma's medication because you want to save taxpayer dollars. You don't want to feed the needy or take care of that family, household of 5 because you're trying to save taxpayer dollars. But you have no problem in an ongoing useless Hunter Biden investigation showing nude pictures, which is a form of pornography, in Congress using taxpayer money. That's okay.
That blew me away. Taxpayers paid for that.
Woo. Okay. Moving on, gentlemen.
All right.
We move on to probably one of the dumbest things I've heard in a long time. And I won't say in history. I hate when Donald Trump does that, by the way. Every next thing that comes out is the biggest thing that happened in history. So by the time you get to the end of the year, you've had like 50 biggest things that happened in history that has never happened before.
Yeah, I am so tired of hearing words like unprecedented and like everything is unprecedented at this point.
Every unprecedented lost its definition, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Now it's unprecedented if Trump does not do something stupid. How about that?
Yeah, it'd be unprecedented if you'd shut the F up. It would be unprecedented.
If he would take his right to remain silent.
No, that would shock people. Everybody would be like, is he dead? Like, what happened?
Okay. So we have two millennials sitting on a third rail on a Chicago railway. This is a picture of them. They've blocked out, their face. But this incident happened on August 5th, and this happened in Chicago's Oak Park. These two, it's an unnamed man and woman. They've been hospitalized in critical condition. Excuse me. They've been hospitalized in critical condition. Neither of them have been identified. But first responders who rushed to the scene said that they, in rescuing these two, they both seemed to be in their 20s. So I don't believe that's a millennial, Jeremy. That would be Gen Zs. The duo,
they're idiots, is what they are. I mean, who takes a selfie on a subway rail or a train rail?
Yeah, we'll go with that. These two were seen limping after sitting on the dangerous current rail. And do you want to know how many votes this rail has?
Yes,
600 votes.
Oh,
600 votes.
That'll pluck your butthole up right there, man, sitting on a third rail.
Now I'm from New York. So in New York.
Oh, no, we lost them.
That's okay. He'll come back. In New York, that's one of the main things you learn growing up. Don't mess with that third rail. Do not mess with that third rail. Because, a lot of teenagers here in New York, they have a habit of jumping stations, jumping from platforms, from one platform to another, or riding the coattails of a subway car in the back. They do that here.
I mean, that's when I was a kid, we used to do stuff like that, hop trains and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I mean, but we didn't know any better. These days, with all the information on there should be, I mean, now they're going to have to put a gigantic sign up. This is like why they have peanut allergy warnings on peanut butters for people like this. Now they're going to have to put a gigantic sign up that says, don't sit your stupid ass on the third rail. Because of these people. I mean, this is
something that you would think they already knew, right? You would think
this is why warning signs exist and why warning labels exist on things, because of people like this.
Definitely. Okay, let's move on. We have an apartment manager who is caught on film throwing some sort of liquid on a child. Pouring soda on a child, and this child happened to be a black kid, and she also called him the N-word too. Very sad. Very sad.
Yeah, and they're on video, no less.
His parents apparently are suing this apartment manager.
Good.
They are from Greensboro, North Carolina. And this black young man is 11 years old. Again, it's been filmed of the water of the soda being poured on him. We do have a couple of still pictures that we can show. Here's the young man here with the water. You can't see it, but if you notice, look around his face. You will see some white material on the right side of his face and in
It's the
his
foam
hair.
from the soda. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's show I believe we have the video footage of that event too.
Do we? Because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I believe I do actually. Let me go ahead and throw that up there real quick.
Let's do it.
Let's see what we got.
Kimberly Jennings, property manager of Sagefield Garden Apartments, is charged with 2 counts of simple assault on a child under 12. The incident was caught on the apartment complex's security camera. Jennings is seen here hitting and pouring drinks on the kids. What in the world? Roll the video. You see the two kids playing right there by the pool, and all of a sudden Jennings walks over and for some reason literally begins to pour drinks all over them.
And him and his sister were visiting the pool, and Kim Jennings is an apartment manager, and apparently she had an issue with him coming to the pool. It wasn't just Jace, there were other kids there as well. They had a prior run-in at some point with Miss Jennings, and it was alleged that she had assaulted his sister, Jayla, once before, and also used racial slurs in reference to Jayla and Jay.
That's just, we keep talking about this every episode. I feel like we talk about this. It's just so.
It's bullshit. It really is. This grown ass woman assaulting this little boy who probably didn't even know why she was doing that. You know,
he didn't look like he was being disruptive. He didn't look like he was yelling at her or you know what I mean? Like he wasn't combative at all. It looked like he was just standing there.
Yeah. What would you do if you saw that happening to your child? Now, before you answer your question, let me just get okay.
Let's do this.
My wife would have beat that you know what's ass. Okay. You ain't putting your hands on my kid. You're not assaulting my kid. You're not throwing anything on my kid. Or at minimum, somebody would have gotten something to drink and would have poured it on her. Let's see how you like that. But this was balls. This was balls for this lady to do this. She obviously thought that this was okay to do this to a young child. What does this teach the child? Even if that child did something wrong, what is it teaching him to do that? You know? So I'm happy that the parents are suing her. I hope they own that apartment complex after this, because that was shameful. What's your opinion, Jeremy?
Ooh, no, I've never laid hands on a woman in my life, but you hit my kid, I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested that day. Sorry. You don't, there's not many things that I think violence is acceptable. There's very few situations where I think violence is acceptable, but in defense of one's family, oh, it's going down. You don't mess with my kids. You don't touch my kids. You don't disrespect my kids. If you got a problem with them, you come see me.
Absolutely.
And there we go. We got our boy back. There he is.
Absolutely.
There he is.
Hey,
happens to the best of us.
All right. Absolutely. You don't touch the kids. Donnie, really quick, because you have a sweet little girl. Chime in on this. This is about the apartment.
I came back and I caught what you. I apologize for that. My little one woke up.
No, you're good. It happens to us all the time, man.
You know, it's really sad. It's so sad and disappointing. Yes, I have a 4-year-old. My youngest is 4 and my oldest is 31. So knowing what we are teaching and how and what I think about is the impact. This is what we may not think about and all the other things in the parents, but the impact that it has on our children, the effect that it would have on that young child. It's wide stretching. See, a lot of things that we deal with now as adults are things and the traumas that happen as kids. Even this lady, maybe it's some trauma that happened. I don't know. But there's no way that you can make a wrong right. No amount of money, no amount of money will be able to the mental. That's the bigger part of it. Is that what we miss? Is that that's the thing. Our children are the future. They only know, they only have, as we adults, we only have what's been poured into us, what's been shown to us. Now, I will say this, and no defense, no nothing else, but I heard the report, and I was listening to some of it earlier, that there had been issues prior to. Now, here's my thing. If I know that there's some issues prior to, why would I allow my child? I ain't saying that. I'm just saying me. This is what I wouldn't do. Why would I allow my child to be put in a situation where some harm could come to them? That's on me as a parent. Not saying, I'm just saying me.
That's true, but let me just chime in, Donnie. This was the apartment complex manager, and they were at the apartment complex pool. So it could very well be, they can't say who can come and go.
Right,
And maybe
right.
this lady happened to just show up and be around, and whatever happened conspired at that point, she took it upon herself to do what she did. We can't say whether the parents, took them there deliberately or not. But if you're living in the complex and you're paying for it and you have the rights to use it, I'm going to use it. I don't care whether someone
totally
is
agree.
intimidating me or threatening me. I'm basically going to look at them and tell them, bring it on. But I'll be at that pool because my children want to play in that pool.
No, and I totally agree with that.
Like Donnie said, I mean, this is going to be a core memory for that kid. You know what I mean? Like their traumas mold us. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people become the people they are. Some people get broke by their traumas. You know what I mean? Some people come out stronger because of it. So, but you don't know at the time, but that situation is going to the consequences of that situation. So you're right; it's widespread.
What happens if this young man grows up to dislike Caucasian people or Caucasian women?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
based on what she did to him. Not right.
And that, and we're not. See, here's where we just put that thing in a little box where it's much bigger. The bigger part of it is that wasn't the only child that was affected. There were more people at the pool. See, that's when this thing gets bigger than we're looking narrow at what just happened to this child, but there were others that also witnessed.
Right. And it's been reported that he wasn't the only one that was assaulted either. The sister or another girl in the past had been picked on by this apartment manager as well. Now, it's been brought out that the parents of this child asked the complex to fire this lady, and it still remains to be seen whether she's been fired or not. ABC News did ask that question, but of course, they did not get any answer from the apartment.
I've been fired for much less than that.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave it at that.
It should also be criminally looked into because that is a form of assault and on a minor. So it's kind of like what do you call it? Minor abuse, child abuse.
Yeah, exactly.
And and I'm sorry, there's this. I don't know why this thing just popped in my head, but here's the other thing. My thing, if anybody don't know, is about accountability. If someone was there taking pictures of this, why didn't that person step in? That's all I gotta say.
Actually, not. I think it was security cam footage, so I don't think there was anybody actually taking pictures of it. But there was other people there. There was other employees,
and that's
there,
what I mean. When are we going? We all. I mean, my thing. Am I my brother's keeper? We're all. Everybody there that said nothing was just as guilty as the person that did something.
That's right. That's right. I'll tell you one thing, it would never be me. I am the type of person who will speak out. I speak out in defense of the LGBTQ plus community and the disability community all the time. I see something out in the street or hear something that's inappropriate, my mouth is open all the time. And if I was an adult sitting at that pool with my children, absolutely, I wouldn't even wait for his parents to open his mouth. My mouth would be open. What in the hell is that? What is that? Why are you doing that in front of everybody else? Is that okay? Because we don't think that that's okay. And that would have been my response.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
All right, let's move on to the Trump update. Jeremy, take it away. The GOP reaction to all of this fourth indictment stuff that's been going on all week. What do we know?
They are not handling it well. Let's show the video. And I'd like to thank Midas Touch Network for putting the receipts together for me to be able to put this mashup together.
Thank you, Midas
Touch. Do that. I gotta say that.
Behind Donald Trump, who's this big, strong, amazing guy, he might be the most unique person I've ever had the privilege to deal with because he's strong. He's got broad shoulders, but there's a lot of people behind him who are more brittle.
And this is Joe Biden and this is the Democrats weaponizing the justice system because they're afraid of the voters. This is disgraceful. It is wrong, and it is an abuse of power.
He's spending more money on lawyer fees than he is running for office. January the 6th, I was there. I saw it. He was impeached over it. The American people can decide whether they want him to be president or not. This should be decided at the ballot box, not in a bunch of liberal jurisdictions trying to put the man in jail. They're weaponizing the law in this country. They're trying to take Donald Trump down, and this is setting a bad precedent.
Well, not if they do what I recommended 4 years ago and could easily do for them and bring a racketeering case. The statute of limitations hasn't run in a racketeering case. I can get them all in. And Hunter Biden gives us the classical definition of a racketeer.
He wants to say now that Hunter Biden is the reason now they're just going to throw a RICO case to somebody with no evidence whatsoever. And this is why Giuliani's going to end up either in jail or dying in the process. I mean, this guy
it's not just Giuliani, it's the entire party. This is why they're going through what they're going through. And every day that goes by, many more Americans are catching on to the BS by the Republicans, because that's exactly what they do. They're putting down what's happening to their own guy, but they're not putting their own guy down at all. At all. So weaponization of the DOJ and of the judicial system. What do you call Trump doing as he goes online and threatens the judges and the witnesses, telling the lieutenant governor of Georgia he should not testify? What do you call that? Weaponization of what?
Right. Did you guys hear about Giuliani going to Mar-a-Lago to ask Trump to help him with money, and Trump was like, "Nope."
Pathetic.
That's what you get.
That is so good for him. I have a tweet that I'm going to share with everyone later at the end of the show about that, because I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and you can bring that back up again. But the reactions to from the GOP are shameless. What was that Ted Cruz said?
The guy's a holy. I like the guy with his. Oh, Donald Trump has such broad shoulders. Like, what are you talking about?
What the hell does that have to
Get
do
your
with the
tongue
conversation,
out of Donald Trump's asshole. Like, he's so big and broad. Like, what are you talking about? Who gives a shit? I mean, seriously, these people are insane.
It's really bad. But the positive thing about it all is that more and more Americans are catching on. They are catching on to the nonsense, to the conspiracies, to the gaslighting, to the horrible excuses that the Republicans are doing. And why? Because the Republicans are coming out with the same excuses over and over and over again, while turning a blind eye to what their guy is doing. And that's the point. If you're gonna put down the opposite side, you've got to point out something, because it's not possible for Trump to be brought up on 4 indictments and 91 counts, but he is 100% perfectly innocent. It's not possible.
Now,
Because
Donnie, real quick,
if you're gonna say that, then that means a lot of people, a lot of regular everyday people who are indicted and brought up on charges is fake, right?
Exactly. Well, Donnie, I want to get your reaction to the next video because I don't think you've seen this one. Donald Trump had an absolute meltdown because of this poll. He literally posted at least, because after I saw the video, I hopped on the Truth Social, 15 at least different posts of different polls showing Donald Trump winning and it was all because of this report. I'll show it this here, and Donnie, I want you to get your feedback on it.
Case. And when it comes to his hoarding of nuclear secrets, on the contrary, 53% say
let me start that
in the
over.
Georgia case. And when it comes to his hoarding of nuclear secrets, on the contrary, 53% say his actions were illegal.
Sorry, that is actually the wrong clip. That's the shorter one of the two, where it shows Donald Trump is losing in the general election polls by 2-1. Like he's got 30%, and he is having an absolute, complete, and utter meltdown because of it.
Nevertheless, you don't hear him say that. Go ahead, Donnie.
I think that my little 2 cents and worthless 2 cents from the country boys is on all of this. I hope that we all, each and every one of us now, starts to hold our elected, I'm going to say that word again, elected officials accountable. I don't care which side you're on. That's not my thing. We should be able to hold them accountable from your state, your local. I think we need to learn. Because what I see happening is it gets higher up, and if the higher up it gets, the more they run amok. And if we don't start to hold them accountable, then the muck will continue to run across the board. And I think that's on us as voters. That's on us as citizens. Is wake up, and stop thinking that somebody else is going to handle it. Every vote counts. Every person that goes to the poll, that is the thing, is wake up and hold these people accountable for their actions or non-actions.
Right. That's right. And you know who that, in my opinion, that goes to? The American people of Florida and Texas. They both have voted in their governors a second time. And now you hear a lot of complaining, boo-hooing, and whining over what they're going through or what's happening. But you voted for them. You voted for them.
Exactly.
So what else do you expect? Are you trying to say that you didn't see this coming? You voted for them. Let's see on the third time. Let's see if they have learned their lesson. Okay, let's move on to Kansas, the great state of Kansas. They recently engaged in an illegal raid that it's called on the local newspaper. And what does this say? Mother of owner dies from stress as a result. Is that true?
Yeah, his mother was the co-owner. Yeah, the mother of was the co-owner of the newspaper, and as a result of the stress and anxiety from them seizing all their stuff, and this is the illegal raid because she died the next day as a result. So that was her last day on earth, was thinking she was going to end up in prison. So she ended up passing away, unfortunately. So I don't know how you can possibly make up for that.
Wow.
They returned everything because it was an illegal raid, and I believe, let me play the video. It's got a little more information. The newspaper, I believe, was investigating someone, and that someone then lied to the cops saying that they were stealing people's identities at the newspaper. So that's why they were raided. But newspapers and press have special privileges. You can't just issue a warrant for, I guess, a newspaper. You have to have an actual subpoena. You can't just walk in there with a warrant. So the whole warrant was illegal and complete BS. So let me just play this real quick, and then.
But doesn't the
accused reporters of identity theft and computer crimes while reporting on local restaurant owner Carrie Newell for a story that didn't run. Newell told the city council the paper illegally obtained her driving record, which included a DUI. The publisher and co-owner of the paper, Eric Meyer, denies the allegation and tells NBC News he believes the police chief has a personal axe to grind.
Police chief saw an opportunity to let's really stick it to this newspaper, which has not been entirely supportive of him.
According to Meyer, the paper was investigating Police Chief Gideon Cody's time on the force in Kansas City, including that he was set to be demoted for misconduct before joining the department in Marion.
He's exposing secrets of the police department. So the police, see how that works.
Yeah. But you're messing with a newspaper, which I think is just dumb and stupid. If they've already, have gone national on certain things that you've done, I'd like to see what they're going to do with this police chief now.
Right.
So this, they say that he was already on legal shaky ground when he ordered the raid of a weekly newspaper, but it could be a criminal violation against their civil rights, and that's what's up for the topic of discussion right now. A former federal prosecutor had said that they will probably have the FBI look into it. So, if it is correct that this raid was illegal, then this police chief will have a lot to answer for, and hopefully he will no longer be a police chief anymore, so that he doesn't have the availability to do this.
There's more in the video. Like, he will not comment to the press. He's like avoiding them like through the plague.
Of course.
And don't you have to have some type of evidence to take to a judge to even get
That's what I thought. That's what I
don't know. I'm
so
this
somebody
is like a rumor. This is like look, I heard from a friend of a friend whose cousin lives over here that they were doing this. Like, well, you can't stop. These people are driving me insane with this.
Right. So perhaps the FBI should be investigating both the police chief and the judge who signed off on that warrant.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on to the writers and actors strike. It's been going on for a while now, right?
I believe it hit over 100 days, and I don't think there's any. Last I checked, there's still no agreement.
Well, they stopped talking, and recently the talks started up again between the WGA and the AMPTP. So the question is, why were the studios motivated to return to the table? And it's been exactly 108 days.
Yeah.
If I can say something, I can tell you why. It's because your show is so good that they need to get back to work, because there ain't nobody gonna be watching it. They're gonna be watching you.
Right.
All right.
I mean, hey, they can watch our podcast while they're striking. I don't want to hear that shit.
Well, I was about to say, for that case, then we don't ever want them to get off strike, right?
Nope, we're good. Stay on strike.
Ask for more.
Yeah.
But
the studios are losing their ass, and the actors and with AI, this is a serious threat to writers. I mean, I love movies. I love movies and storytelling and all that stuff. I do not want to watch a movie that was written and done with AI. I don't. Okay, there's got to be the human element to it, and it's like every other capitalist industry in this country. The top gets everything, and the people at the bottom get shit on. It's like America. It's like the American dream.
And the fact is that and Leslie, I forgot her last name. The talented gal from Saturday Night Live, Leslie Jones. She did an interview that said, not everybody in the entertainment industry is rich. Not everybody has zeros and zeros in their bank account. There are many, and I mean thousands, maybe even millions, that live paycheck to paycheck, and they're actors. They're writers. They're in the entertainment industry. There are many that have another one or two jobs in addition to writing. and producing, right? So these are really are the ones really that stand to lose the most with this, because they're getting paid the least. But not just them. Then you've got the higher ups that deserve to get paid more for their creativity. And this all stems on, it's been about 5 or 10 years since the last strike, if you guys remember their last strike, right? Since then, social media and the streaming effect has exploded, right? Netflix, Hulu, I can. There's more, but let's just go with those two. And they don't feel like they're getting their fair share of the profits and the revenues that are coming in from these streaming sites. And these streaming sites are ridiculously expensive.
We're getting there. Donnie, you a movie guy? You're not a movie guy?
I'm not. I've got some old DVDs.
He said DVDs. No, I'm just playing.
Oh, Donnie.
If kids only knew how hard it was to watch a movie back in the day. I remember, I'll age myself right now. I remember when my friend's dad got a Laserdisc player. And we watched Eddie Murphy Raw on Laserdisc. It was like a big ass DVD like this big. It weighed like 5 pounds. The most amazing shit I've ever seen.
I remember when the world transformed from VHS to DVD.
Right.
That was a big thing. Right. And then from DVD to Blu-ray, that was a big thing. My children now, they don't even know what DVD means.
Do you know why Blu-ray? You remember there was a battle between Blu-ray and HD DVD? Remember that?
Yeah, it was crap.
Do you know why? Do you know the reason that Blu-ray took over and HD DVD went away?
Why?
The porn industry put all their stuff on Blu-ray. They did not support HD DVD.
Oh, wow.
That's a true thing.
Wow.
So that's why HD DVD could keep up.
I would believe that, especially being that the porn industry is a $1 billion industry.
Shit. Right? Hey. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't get me started talking about porn on the show. That could be a whole different show right there.
Okay,
we don't get banned. All right,
right. Okay. Last, we've left the worst for last, right? Marjorie Taylor Greene and her usual nonsense, not unusual nonsense, but her usual nonsense. Tell us what's going on, Jeremy.
Well, she wants to be vice president. She wants to be vice president and has said that. Can you imagine that? Let me play this crazy video. This is an interview.
We would love her. We would love her to be VP. Please.
Shit.
Her or Carrie Lake. Please.
I'd leave the country if I'd move to Mexico where things make sense.
Trump is dead without them, and he is double, triple dead with them.
So yeah, let me play this crazy ass interview where she defends Trump, and then I want to get Donnie's reaction to it. This is good.
Biden regime actually tried to arrest President Trump, lock him up in jail for the rest of his life, which is a death sentence, and then go after his supporters across the state. It's something that it's still shocking. I can't even believe it happened yesterday. Yeah. Atlanta has some of the highest crime in the country. Yeah. Murder, rape, carjacking, and the state of Georgia is one of the worst states in the country for child sex trafficking. Jima last week with Homeland actually told me that every single month in the state of Georgia, every month, men will buy a child for sex on average 7,200 times. Fani Willis should be going after child sex predators and traffickers. Fani Willis should be going after murderers, rapists, car theft.
Okay.
That last part there.
Take
it away, Donnie.
Well, Country Boy. Country Boy does have a question. Now, exactly who is this lady again? I ain't that smart. So, who is this lady?
Oh, you don't know who Marjorie Taylor Greene is?
I'm gonna kill you, Donnie. What?
Oh,
What?
You know, we're gonna have to educate you. You're gonna learn today. She is probably the worst person in Congress. She's the most powerful person in Congress.
All right. Now you can stop
Not
right there,
Kevin
because
McCarthy.
here go the question. Because I was reading her little thing that she is from Georgia, and she is an elected official from Georgia.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. All right. Now here go. I'm gonna skip over the stuff she said about Trump. But how are you going to down the place that you are over, that you are now? You're talking about all this stuff that's going on in your house,
in your own state.
You're talking about your house, and now if this other lady that did this stuff is also in your house and she's not going after him, well, then you know she wasn't going after him. How can you have such a high rate of this, that, and the other? But what are you doing? Now that's just mine. I'm sorry.
I agree with that. And my thing is like, what is the judge? The judge is not on the streets going after criminals. Like, why is she saying that Fonnie Willis needs to be going after people? It doesn't.
I mean, it's the same thing. If she should be upholding. If she has been elected by the people to make changes to the state, then the changes she should start with are in the state or cut down on the trafficking, cut down on the murder. What are you doing to cut down? Are you giving more money into? I mean, I'm just sorry. That's.
Here's my take of it. Here's what I saw from that video from at the very end when she said you should be going after pedophiles and rapists, and I said to myself, but she is.
Yeah, she definitely is.
But she is.
I made a video. Yeah, I mean, hey, oh, you know what? I don't know if I have it on my Facebook page or not. You guys talk. I think I might actually have.
I also was going to say to you, more often you can download those and we can show some of them.
Yeah, I always forget about it, but no, I have a picture, screenshot of the judge. I mean, the judge said he raped her. Just the reason he didn't get charged with rape is because of a technicality in the definition per the law. That is the only reason he didn't get in charge with that rape. But the judge was like, by all definition, by all accounts, he raped her. That's from the judge. And now you got Marjorie Taylor Greene going, oh, she should be going after rapists. Well,
she is.
She kind of is. I mean, really.
No,
so she's apparently doing her job.
She is. She is.
And these people are obsessed with this child trafficking thing now. Yeah, they're obsessed with it because of a movie came out. Now they're obsessed with it. It's like their hoorah thing.
I don't think it's just because of the movie. It's because they're just not all there. But one thing that I can't understand is how they have the nerve to be so obsessed with pedophile and child abuse and sexual abuse, but on an average on a weekly basis, a Republican comes out in the national news of doing something inappropriate to a child. On an average of once a week, every week, another report of another Republican who has been caught and arrested for doing something inappropriate or for outright rape. You don't hear speaking about that.
I'll even go a step further, and Donnie might have an opinion on this. I mean, but Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis are shipping people under false pretenses, kids. Okay, kids. Kid died as a result of this. They're shipping people fraudulently from one place to another. That's called trafficking. And if there's a child involved, that is child trafficking.
Let me add to that. Do you remember what Donald Trump said in one of his first speeches in 2015 that we all were horrified of and appalled, where he said they're bringing rapists and child abusers across the border? Remember when he said that? So now you have two Republican, if that's believable, right? Let's say for argument's sake, that's true, which we know it's not, but let's say it's true. Your own people are busing rapists and child abusers and sending them across the nation.
Literally, like,
what sense does that make?
If they're all rapists, right? If they're all rapists, like they say they are, you're just putting them on a bus and literally spread them out. You idiots.
Okay. So we got a couple of tweets here. that I wanted everybody's opinion on. This is a new segment of the show, guys, where the last couple of minutes of each week in review, we will talk about some tweets, comments, or messages made by either myself, any of our guest commentators, or just anybody in general. Okay, feel free to chime in on your comments on what you think as well. So first on the docket, you were talking about Jeremy, Mr. Giuliani. So check this tweet out. Okay, and the news keeps coming. Giuliani is likely to end up filing for bankruptcy and will be forced to use court-appointed defense attorney.
What?
Very, very embarrassing, Mr. Mayor. So where's Trump when you need him? Can you believe it?
Oh, that is so satisfying for some reason.
Legal aid.
One of the biggest lawyers at one point in the country.
Now,
I mean, this is the guy they hired. They hired Giuliani when Purdue Pharma was pushing OxyContin, and they were about to slam Purdue Pharma. Giuliani is one of the main reasons Purdue Pharma ended up continuing putting OxyContin out there. I mean, he was a big-time lawyer. And now to see him, oh my God, please have a public defender. Please, for the love of God, have a public defender. I would,
I thought
so satisfying.
I thought it was hilarious, so I had to share it with you guys. Okay, how about this one? Doesn't he have a lot of nerve accusing someone else of bribery? Again, in his mind, only he referring to Trump, can do wrong, which in his mind is right. But others who do wrong is wrong. And the question remains, are you voting for Trump? So there was an article where they were talking about how Trump was telling, saying that DeSantis bribed an Iowa official. That was the article. And so it was like, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? First of all, you were impeached the first time for bribery. Second of all, you must have only bribed about 100 people since then, and he has the nerve to bring out DeSantis. It's crazy. It's crazy. What say you?
Go ahead, Don. You take this one.
I just don't think that the wrongs, the wrongs that we do, and what I believe, and I'm not for or against Trump or none of that. I just try to shoot it right down the middle. Is that what you have is a lot of people are connecting with someone who's being treated, or in their eyes treated wrongly. You have to remember that sometimes, it's true that we connect on the level that we're at. A lot of people have been in pain, so they connect with the pain, with the hurt. I can connect with you and go like, oh, you know what? I can support you because it looks like you're being down, you're being talked about. It looks that way, so I connect with you because, again, we are all in the same boat, and a lot of people are drawn to that. And when we keep it going, that's why the supporters, and in my opinion, I don't know, that's why the people are supporting and rooting, and you have all of this. It's because it's almost like I want to root for the underdog.
Right. Absolutely. All right, let's move on.
I agree.
Let's move on to the next one. We got so the GOP now is mainstreaming political violence. Many Republicans are inviting, embracing, allowing, and ignoring all violence created and caused by their own supporters. Can you say President Biden does that too?
No. And all right, I'll take this one.
Yeah.
I dare them to try any kind of organized violence against the United States military, the most massive and expensive military on the planet. We have drones, damn it. A bunch of assholes with M16s in their home arsenal are not going to take down. They have no organization. They have no leadership, no financing, no logistics, no equipment, no supplies. It's not going to happen, but they still put this idea in people's heads just to cause chaos. And then when these people either get killed or go to jail, they're nowhere to be found to help these people. That's the part that pisses me off. But I dare you to try it, because you're going to get an M1 Abrams tank shoved right up your ass, or a drone dropping a bomb on you. So, yeah, get the idea out of your head that that's going to happen. It's not going to happen.
All righty.
But people at the top are calling for this shit to happen. That's the bad part. People at the top.
Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene as well. She's calling for civil war.
Yes, she doesn't want to. Yeah, she tweeted. I think she removed it. I believe I memorized it. We don't need we don't need World War III. We need a Civil War II. That's what the highest ranking female in Congress tweeted. And I believe it was from her government account too, if I'm not mistaken.
Shameless. All right. What about this one? It says, I'm not sure if I would jail him, especially seeing that it's obvious that's what he wants to start, an enraging war amongst his supporters. But what I would do is what he doesn't want, and that is speed up a trial. So you had two who responded, right, jailing him would make him a martyr. And the other one said, but if he was jailed, the law would control and limit his communications. They'd open and read his mail before he would. There'd be no cameras, no social media, no jailhouse ranting, no computers, no threats like I'm coming after you, and no cake.
I agree. I have to agree with Leandra on that one. If you put him in jail and shut him up, the whole MAGA thing, everything is he's like the sun, and everything's being like a star, like gravity is just being pulled towards him. You know what I'm saying? So once he's out of the picture, the whole MAGA movement's going to fall apart. They're already in chaos with him just being indicted, yet alone in prison. So unfortunately, we're going to have to put up with Trumpism and Trump supporters for years and years and maybe decades to come. But I don't think anything less than him going to jail for what he's done is acceptable. That's just my opinion.
Point well taken. Point well taken.
What do you think, Donnie? You want Trump? You think Trump should go to jail, or you think
I think that it's well? Let me ask this, and here's the question I want to ask. Maybe y'all can help me out, help old country boy out. What does all of this look like to the rest of the world? What do we not look like a bunch of bumbling idiots? I don't know, but do we not look like a bunch of bumbling idiots to the rest of the world?
You're putting it clean. You're putting it clean.
I say it all the time.
Oh,
okay,
I mean,
we look like a complete. We look like a bunch of complete assholes.
Yeah.
You know, and here, okay, so we do. We send an ex-former president to jail. Okay, is he still? Because doesn't he get certain things? Okay, is he not gonna get his money anymore? Because is that a part of? Wasn't all this stuff written out? Like prior to this is what? Yes. How does that work? Can somebody put money on his books and get commissary? Or are we the people still gonna be paying for? Are we the people paying for him twice? We paying for him to be in jail, then we sending him a check every month. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I think he still gets Secret Service protection.
And you know, they said that. They said that if he was put into jail, he'd be in jail, but he'd have his Secret Service protection sit right there. That's incredible. That's amazing.
Hey, that's the only thing keeping that orange ass from being somebody's girlfriend in prison.
That
is Secret Service.
Amazing. That is amazing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But it's true. It's right. Nobody knows what to do because we've never had. This has been unprecedented.
Unprecedented. Again, we say that damn word, man.
We've never had a screwball president as bad as this one here. And so I guess we're gonna learn, right? We're gonna learn together as to what will happen or what can happen in the event that he was to be in the jailhouse instead of the White House.
And it'll be interesting. Can I just end and say this? And I'm gonna shut my old triple trap. I mean, I remember Donald when he was hanging out with Vince in WWE. I remember Donald when he was having long ago. You know, my mom used to say something about a leopard and not changing. This man hasn't truly changed anything that what he was from when he started, but he was actually elevated to a place. Now, I mean, what were we expecting to see? Like him going into the phone booth as Clark Kent and coming out as Superman? I don't know.
I think that's what people think. Like have you seen those crazy digital trading cards that he puts out where he's like all buff and shit?
Yeah.
They got one of him as a cowboy and an astronaut. And it's not even him. It's just like this really slender looking guy with a Trump head on it.
Amazing.
And he made like $2 million selling stuff like that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't know. But thank you, gentlemen. This has been another week in review on the books. Thank you for joining us for the first time, Mr. Donnie Lewis, old country boy. We appreciate you, and you are welcome back at any time on the Esteban Hours Week in Review. Okay. Thank you, Jeremy. As always,
yep, thank you.
For opinionated talk. And that brings us to the conclusion of today's show. Now, we went through a lot, didn't we? We went through the GOP meltdown. We went through the fools that got electrocuted. We went through the call for the Democrats to open up an investigation against Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. We went through Marjorie Taylor Greene calling for a civil war, not World War III, but a Civil War II. So a lot of things happening, right? That happened last week, and a lot of things that's probably going to be happening this week. So what I can say to you is have a happy, happy day, my friends. Again, I hope you had a great, great weekend, and I hope you look forward to having a great, great week. This week, don't forget to tune in to the Esteban Hours podcast Friday evenings at 8 p.m. And there will be a couple of surprises that will be happening throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. And we will see you right here back again next week at 11 a.m. on the Weekend Review. If you have a goal that you've achieved or you accomplished, don't forget to say to yourself, this